Hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. My name is Anna Mardall. When we last left off in-game, we had another day's investigation to try to find evidence of Miles Edgeworth being innocent. We didn't find a lot, but we did learn more about the DL6 incident in which his father died. We do know that the DL6 incident is in some way connected with this case, but we still don't understand what exactly happened.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Apparently the prosecution is also ready. Who is the judge here anyway? Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Okay, no opening statements, so... Not so fast, Judge. I was taking a meaningful pause before speaking.
Of course.
A prediction. Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now.
Oh, really? I just have to speak really slowly. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Yeah, you like that, Von Karma?
Order! Mr. Von Karma, what is the meaning of your statement just now? Must you question everything? It will be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my witness now. Right? I call my witness. My decisive witness to the stand. It's that mysterious boat shop owner. Witness, state your profession.
I am the proprietor of the restaurant The Wet Noodle at Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats.
The night of the incident, you were in the boat rental shop, correct?
Yep, I was.
Please testify.
Wait a second. We still haven't heard who this old guy is. Yeah, I would like to know who he is. Wait a minute! The witness hasn't stated his name yet.
Because I did not ask him, Mr. Wright. I have predicted this trial will end in 3 minutes. Stop asking trivial questions and cooperate. The witness will state his name.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic.
Well, I'm not really sure.
What do you mean?
My memory, Your Honor. The witness does not remember anything beyond the last several years. Ergo, he cannot recall his own name.
He can't recall his name?
Yes. But the incident in question took place 3 days ago. He can testify. Very well. Let's hear his testimony then, shall we? It was the night of the 24th, just after midnight, yep. I was in the restaurant, where I, rent boats, as usual. Then I heard a bang. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. Then I heard another bang.
Why are there 2 bangs? Why was the gun shot 3 times?
Just about then, the boat comes back to shore, and a man walks by my window. Very well. I'd like to begin the cross-examination. There is nothing to question in my witness's testimony. Ergo, no need for cross-examination. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before our 3 minutes are up. Judge, your verdict, now! Yes, Mr. Wright? What are you saying? Of course I'll cross-examine the witness. Very well, you may begin. Oh, good. He's having a heart attack. Oh, the Death Note got to him. The Death Note guy. Sorry, that was the wrong series. It's on Netflix, though, and I watched it for the first time. The anime. It was very good, yes. Excuse me, Mr. Von Karma? 3 minutes just passed. I see. Well then, let's just take our time. You may cross-examine this witness. Oh, so I don't have to talk slow? Okay. So night of the 24th, just after midnight. I was in the restaurant where I rent boats. I heard a bang. Can we press on that? Where did the bang seem to come from? From the lake, I figure. Are you certain? Yeah. Good. Continue. Was there someone in the boat? It was pretty far out there. I couldn't see clearly. But I figure there was 2 men out there, yep. But you couldn't see them clearly. Yeah. At the time, that is. At the time? By your window? Yep, walk by my window. Right outside the window of my little shack. Could you see the man's face? Well, the fog was pretty darn thick, but he was right there in front of me. I saw him. This is a rather important detail. Please add it to your testimony. I have a bad feeling about this. That man was a defendant. He was saying, I can't believe he's dead. Are you sure? Uh-oh. Dad! Dead certain, Keith. He said, I can't believe he's dead as he was walking by, too. Witness, are you sure the person you saw was Miles Edgeworth? It was him. That Edgeworth boy. Oh God, is he okay? This sounds like decisive evidence indeed. I see no room for doubt. Von Karma. He lured me into cross-examining so he could set me up for fall. I mean, we would have had to anyway, so... Nick, I don't like the way things are going here. Everyone in the courtroom is glaring at us. We better act quick or this trial is going to be over. Your Honor, we proved in yesterday's trial that it could not have been Edgeworth who fired the gun. Mr. Wright, are you referring to the fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand found on the gun, and the photograph showing a man firing with his left hand? Exactly. That is easily explainable. He could have wiped his prints after he fired. And then touched it again? You are ignoring the truth of the matter. Everything in this witness's testimony is true. The judge is lost in thought. What should I do? Your Honor, this witness claims that Edgeworth said, I can't believe he's dead. But his word is all we have. If he were telling a lie... Mr. Wright, in a court of law, the evidence tells all. Apparently, you have yet to realize even this basic fact. If you say his testimony is a lie, show us proof. Nick, do we have evidence? It's no good. There's nothing I can do. Are you sure? To be honest, I don't know what to do. Please, can you hear me, sis? Please! We need your help. Nick needs you! 3 minutes was perhaps too high an expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record. I mean, you have to count yesterday, too, so... The witness may leave the stand. The court sees no reason to further prolong the trial, nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. What? No! This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. No, what? What did we do wrong? The accused will surrender to the court immediately to be held pending trial at our higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned. What did we do wrong? Wait! Who was that just now? Me! Huh? Larry? What are you doing here? Listen! You gotta listen to me! I was there in the park, the night of the murder. I wasn't sure about it until just yesterday. But today I remembered. Remembered what? The gunshot! I heard it too! Okay? Order. What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I call for adjournment. One moment, Mr. Von Karma. You say you heard a gunshot. Yeah, I did. A gunshot that night. And I was sitting here in the audience listening to testimony, and I realized something he said was different from what I remember. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you call Edgy a murderer. It's just not right. I'll testify. Let me testify. Order! Order! Oh, this is the first time something has happened like this in my court. Not quite sure how to proceed. Judge, you've already given your decision. The trial is over. Nick! This is it! Larry's given us one final chance at this! She's right. If only it wasn't Larry. He could make things even worse. Mr. Edgeworth was just declared guilty, Nick. It doesn't get any worse. You're right. Okay. Your Honor, if there is another witness, it is our duty to hear him speak. Right here, right now. A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned. Allow me to speak my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard. What is this? I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty. Mr. Von Karma, I order you to call this new witness to testify. Now! What? The court will adjourn for a 5-minute recess. And after that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned. Whew. That was too close. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Edgeworth. I've seen worse. Yeah, right. You're sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there. Larry was at the lake that night. Yes. He said he went looking for the Steel Samurai balloon that flew into the lake. Oh, right! And he found the balloon and the air tank that night. Yeah. Hey, Edgeworth. You say something right. Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing. Mr. Edgeworth, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. I saw the pistol lying on the floor of the boat in front of me. I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason, really. I see. Right. Yeah? This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfect trials? Perfectly prepared witnesses. Perfectly complete evidence. That's the secret to his success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He has to let someone he hasn't even talked to testify before the court. And that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes, right?
That's right, Nick! No 10-minute trial this time! We'll milk this for all it's worth!
It was 15 minutes. Everything's on Larry now. Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything you saw on the night of December 24th. Right! Leave it to me! Please, Larry, don't mess this up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony, even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
What's wrong, Nick?
It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared.
Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick.
Why did you hear one, but Lotta heard two? Let's start with that.
Objection!
Wait a second, Larry. What? You only heard one bang. You're sure? That's what I said. Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday she heard two bangs. The caretaker just now said the same thing. They both heard two gunshots that night.
Huh?
Were you listening?
Were you paying attention to what they said?
Yo, Nick, please! You know, something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here.
Oh, God. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? Oh, God.
Mr. Butts. What? You only heard one gunshot. Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. Not sure? How could you not be sure?
Well, I might have missed the other gunshot. I was listening to something else.
Something else?
My radio, dude, with my headphones.
Oh no. Why?
Order! Order! And stop that booing! Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio with your headphones?
Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everyone listens to the radio. What's the big deal?
Mr. Von Karma, your opinion. Waste of time. I do not accept this witness, nor his shoddy testimony. It's just in total denial. I do not accept this witness or this shoddy testimony. I'm sorry, I just I just expect him to put his fingers in his ears and be like, la 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 la, I can't hear you. Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony? Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know what he's lost. Very well, Mr. Butts, please give your testimony, and be sure to include details like your radio. Right! Leave it to me! I wouldn't if there were any other way out of this, believe me. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud like. But I'm sure I heard the gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it, too. You were listening to your radio at a high volume? Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio. It is difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me? DJ? An announcer. The guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is, when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. Well, Larry, what did you hear? What did she say? Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what a radio DJ said do us? Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. We could get the time. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, how do you know if we don't ask? Very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when she said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," I heard the gunshot. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard. But there is one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened. What time did after midnight? So here, okay. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. If you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes. But that contradicts the two testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness said he heard a gunshot before midnight. That would add up to 3 shots. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butt's claim that he heard the gunshot before midnight? I think he's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. You didn't need evidence for yours. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. 3 times. 3! Take that! This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol is bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. The 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Order! Order! I guess that would make sense out of yesterday's testimonies. You waste our time again with empty statements. Yes, the pistol was fired 3 times. Do you have any proof that it was fired before midnight? Do you have proof that the witness didn't just think he heard something? But how is that not true for the other witnesses? There's no turning back now. Do you have evidence that proves there was a gunshot before midnight? Wait. 12:15. 11:50. This one. I don't know why, but look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Ms. Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. The camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, there was a gunshot at the time Larry claims. Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen the night of the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots, separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why? I'd better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes? What's wrong, Nick? I have it. I have it. Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya. If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch and I'm going to run with it. I mean, is this safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick? Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright? The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So you finally realized the truth? There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on the boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit it is hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men on the boat are.
I don't understand. He's saying it wasn't Edgeworth and Hammond because Hammond was dead before. So it's either it can't be the murderer in Hammond because he said that Hammond was shot before. It literally cannot be either the Hammond option, so it has to be Edgeworth and the murderer. If Hammond was shot by somebody else, then, like the Steel Samurai case, they needed a patsy. So they called Miles to the lake, pretending to be Hammond, fired the gun, dropped it. That was the third fire. No, they fired it twice. Once to get everyone to look out the window. Okay, so before midnight, the murderer and Hammond got shot. The murderer needed a patsy. He called Miles out, pretending to be Hammond, fired the gun once to get everyone to look, and then fired the gun a second time, then flung himself into the lake. Yeah, that's what happened. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. Are you serious? Yes. Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Well, it's not Lotta. If it's someone we've met, it would have to be the caretaker because of the DL6 thing. Is this about the statute of limitations? Was he trying to clear everybody out of the way?
Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Again, you waste my time. And I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, the old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of this crime was not on a boat? What? Well then, where did the murder take place? think the boat shop.
Take that!
Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor. Even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. Good point. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gordon Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? I am. I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Who fired the pistol on that boat, Mr. Wright? Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. To create witnesses. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking for the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said? Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry. I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir! Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him, quickly! We cannot allow him to get away! Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. The search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned.
Yay, Nick, you did it!
Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict.
And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out.
Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't all so down to the wire all the time.
I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients.
Hey, Edgeworth.
He looks so sad. Mr. Edgeworth?
Did you say something?
Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax.
I'm sorry. I fear it's not over for me yet.
What do you mean?
Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? There's so little time left. I want to tell you, to get it off my chest, but...
Is it that you love me? Because I know that already.
I can't make up my mind.
What is this about, Edgeworth?
It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed.
A crime you committed?
A memory of a murder.
What? No, Miles didn't murder anyone. Oh no, it's not gonna turn out that he, shot his dad by accident, is it? 'Cause that would be just awful. Surely not. It's either the nightmare is just a bad dream or I don't know. I think we have another investigation day and then we'll have another trial day. So that's either one more part or two. We'll see. Yay. Okay. This is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. My name is Anna Mardal. Thank you for coming along with me. I'm sorry about all the shouting. I'll see you in the next video, I hope, if you're coming along this far. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to have y'all with me. Bye-bye.